Good evening. It is Tuesday, October 4th, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show post, live streaming on Facebook Live, Twitch, and our Positional Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide our opinions, positions on the hottest topics in sports this evening. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined this evening by three of my partners in crime. Good to have two of these brothers back this week. And we all know life gets in the way, work gets in the way, but glad y'all are back with us. How you feeling this evening, Professor J?
I'm feeling wonderful. Glad to be back with you guys, man. Staying safe and sound. Ready to jump back in. Praise the Lord. Let's go.
Let's get it. Sense is in the building. Good to have you back, partner. How you feeling this evening?
Feeling good, feeling great. It's been a long time, in the words of Rakim. Glad to be back with you guys, man. I missed you, as you said, work calls, but glad to be back here talking sports. Let's go.
And last but definitely not least, my brother J3. How you feeling?
Hey man, I'm feeling pretty good. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What up,
Yes,
J3?
man.
Real
This
quick,
evening. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, give a shout out to Special Ed, man. We miss you. Jake Wills, we miss you. Hopefully y'all can jump back in real soon.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
They as well are handling their business and doing their thing. So this evening, we're going to give you some quick hits. We're going to do some NCAA college football week 5. Then we're going to go to NFL week 4. Give you our final post of the evening. And as always, we appreciate you tuning in. So please sit back and relax and enjoy posts on the Positional Sports Talk Show channel. So fellas, we're going to jump right into these quick hits. First thing, I know a lot of people probably didn't see this, may not even followed it, but our U.S. women's senior basketball team, congratulations for winning the FIBA Women's World Basketball Cup. That's their 4th in a row. They had to fly out. The tournament was in Australia. 5 of the 12 players who played in this tournament were playing in the WNBA final. 2 of them from the Connecticut Sun flew out the next day after the final. The Las Vegas Aces trio stayed. They had a parade on, I think it was Wednesday morning, and then got on a plane. So they actually missed the first 2 games of the tournament, but then came in and put their things in. But what's great about this feat is this U.S. women's national team was missing long-time multiple world champion and gold medalist and future Hall of Famers Sue Bird, who's retired, Diana Taurasi, who possibly could be retiring, Sylvia Fowles, who's retired, Tina Charles, who's still playing but is no longer doing U.S. women's basketball, and of course, we'd be remiss without talking about the absence of their starting center, Brittany Griner, who's unfortunately still being detained over in Russia. So a lot of people were thinking, if you're going to ever get the U.S. women's team, now's the time to get them. But not so fast. These young ladies that had 6 new members of the national team and only 4 of the players who actually played in last year's Olympic gold medal team did their thing, led by the team captain, Breanna Stewart, and arguably the best player in the world today, Asia Wilson. They held it down. And then Asia Wilson's year, she just keep adding stuff to it. We know she won the title. We know she won the MVP. You know she won the WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. She went over there, and she missed the first 2 games and still was the most outstanding player of the tournament.
Wow. Destined for greatness.
When you got it, you got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this team had the largest gold medal championship deficit of 22-point victory. So shout out to those ladies. They did their thing and kept the women's basketball. That's the most dominant team in world sports for the past almost 30 years. I think they've lost 1 time.
Wow.
in any kind of game that meant anything. So they
Talk
doing
about
their thing.
dominance.
Right.
Dominance.
U.S. women's soccer.
The U.S. women's soccer have lost some major tournaments. They lost the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They lost got a bronze medal in the Olympics. You look up the U.S. women's basketball team. If it's a major tournament, they come home with gold. Period.
Right.
Anything less than that is
simply unacceptable. Absolutely
uncivilized.
Yeah, so
That's great stuff right there.
Yeah, and you heard the ladies talking about. I was waking up early in the morning, either watching the games or DVRing them, and you heard them talk about in the breaks that they understand what the standard is, and then they're not lowering that standard, even though they're new players and all that. They're gonna do their thing. So
nice.
Yeah. For you seam heads out there, for people who don't know that's baseball speak. Major League Baseball got most teams have 2 or 3 games left in the regular season before we get into the playoffs. Those LA Dodgers clinched the best record in the Major League Baseball over a week ago. They've got 110 wins with 3 more games to play. I mean, they just doing crazy stuff. And obviously they won the NL West. The Houston Astros clinched the best record in the American League. They've got 104 wins. Hey, man, Dusty's doing this thing. You gotta
give him his props, Jay. Come on, man. Even after
hold on now. I don't have a problem with Dusty Baker. His pedigree is known. I got a problem with a team that's known for cheating. That's 2 different things. So I can like Dusty, but not like his team.
Oh no, respect to that. But I'm saying after like they've kind of redeemed themselves year after year ever since that scandal.
As long as Altuve is on that team, they haven't redeemed nothing. So I mean, like I said, I will be happy for Dusty only, but Houston Astros can certainly kick rocks.
I hear you. In the American League, the New York Yankees finally won the East. Cleveland Guardians won the Central. And then your American League wildcard teams, those young Toronto Blue Jays, they got 3 or 4 juniors, sons of fathers who played in the major leagues. I mean, it's incredible what they have.
Namesakes.
You got the Seattle Mariners with the new J-Rod out there, and the Tampa Bay Rays who set up everything. The Atlanta Braves should clinch the NL East. The magic number is 1, so all they need is a win or a New York Mets loss. But the New York Mets are playing the Nationals.
Nationals, right?
So the Mets could most likely going to sweep the Nationals. So the Braves better win a game. That's all I'm saying. Because the loser goes to the playoffs, but it's different from being the home team and then getting in that wild card thing. And then in your NL, St. Louis Cardinals have won the NL Central. Then your wild cards in that, you got the Mets, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the San Diego Padres. Have you guys seen the San Diego Padres alt uniforms with the fluorescent colors and all that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that looked like something that should have been like in Florida. I can't see that.
I'm about to say the Florida Marlins. Yeah, I was going to say the Florida Marlins.
Speaking of which,
but you know what's still in the show? Aaron Judge trying to get 62. That overshadowing all of this talk.
Everything.
That pressure is real. It took him a minute to get to 61. He finally tied the record last week after our show, and you could see he was relieved from that. Now trying to break the record.
I hate
he
to
went
say
0
it.
for 2 in the they had a doubleheader today, so he went 0 for 2 in the first game, and then tonight he goes again, so he's got a shot, but he's definitely pressing.
Hey, I hate to say it, but them cheeks be clenched when he going up there, man. I just think he, all that pressure is on him trying to break it, and he just not looking like himself. And we all know that in order to hit them bombs, you got to relax. It's got to be fluid. And he just real kind of uptight. You can see it. You can see his tension.
And they haven't really been pitching to him. They tiptoeing around pitching him like a regular hitter.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
If I forget who they playing in the last couple of games, but the team they're playing is like 30 games out of. They've been eliminated. Why not pitch to the dude?
Because they don't want to be the ones.
They hate,
they
right?
Don't want to be the
It's the same thing they did to Barry Bonds. Same thing they did to Bonds.
And what's crazy about all this, this will be our last piece on baseball.
Oh, they playing Texas, by the way.
Okay, yeah,
the Rangers.
Aaron Judge's year and him going for this 61 and possible triple crown, which he won't get, but he'll lead the league in
because the other dude's sitting out. That's a chump move right there. Yeah, the other dude is sitting out, so this man can't get the triple crown. Man,
one of the best years ever in baseball is going on, and nobody's talking about it because his team is terrible. But Los Angeles Angels pitcher Shohei Ohtani, who won the MVP last year.
Yeah.
He's hit 34 home runs again this year. Knocked in 94 RBIs.
Your pitcher.
Has an almost 270 batting average. But what's different from last year to this year, he dropped his ERA to 2.35. He's top 5 in ERA in the major leagues.
Wow.
He's got 213 strikeouts and 15 wins in 27 appearances. He probably would have had 20 wins because his team wasn't driving any runs when he was playing, and Mike Trout was out most of the year. So this guy literally could have been a 20-game winner and one of the top hitters in the major leagues. But, of course, Judge is getting all the pub because he's going after one of the holy records. And, there's a lot of people out there that's saying if he breaks this record, that will be the legitimate record and not Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa. So.
Kill that noise.
Well, I mean, if you did it legitimate, you wouldn't have to worry about them killing that noise. Stop.
Well, it's the record. I had this conversation with somebody else. If you look up the record, it's 73.
There you go. It is what it is. He will have the American League record, but not the record.
Barry Bonds was swatting him out the park before all that controversy even started. So.
Yeah, but he wasn't swatting it out the park like he was once he got juice. I mean, we all know Barry was juicing. Barry's hat size grew like 3 sizes. Barry got swole up.
It's obvious. Yeah, it was evident.
But he did it. He sat there and did it. And he was the most feared hitter in baseball. So we ain't gonna get on Barry, but yeah. So shout out to 2 players, Ohtani, who also signed this past week the largest arbitration-eligible contract extension. He's gonna get paid $30 million for next season. In baseball, they kind of tie up your rights for 5 or 6 years, depending on if you're an international player or a player from here. And these last 2 or 3 years, you become arbitration eligible. So if you've outplayed your contract, you can go back in and ask for more money. Angels ain't want no parts of that. It's like the highest was 28. Here's 30. We're not gonna go to arbitration because they might tell us it's gonna be 35 or 40.
Oh yeah,
they don't want to lose them. They don't want to lose
Judge. What's gonna happen with Judge next year?
And that'll make him an unrestricted free agent next year. So his contract next year is gonna be crazy. So let's get into this college football, fellas. For the first time in a long time, all of the top teams have issues. Now, I'm the one that came on and told y'all the way Georgia played their first 2 games, they were by far the best team in the country. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I remember that.
And that's the way they played. But now Georgia's dealing with what programs like Alabama and Clemson have been dealing with the last 6 years or so since they won their titles, and Alabama since Saban started winning titles. Once you win a title,
you ain't hungry no more.
You ain't got that hunger. Your players don't show up for each and every game.
You underestimate your competition.
Yep.
Exactly. So how do you get through regular season of conference play if you're not giving your all. Because guess what's happening to the opponent who's coming to play you?
They trying to take everything
That's
from
right.
You the defending national champion,
Yes,
so you can make their year no matter what their record is.
Everybody's coming at you with their best shot.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, they getting a taste of what life is. You want to be the big dog? This is what big dog life is. So I'm not sure if Georgia should still make the playoff because the SEC East is quite honestly a little soft this year. With the Tennessee's playing good, so it'll be interesting when they play Tennessee. But other than that, they really don't have anybody in their way. But they're not living up to that expectation. And then they got a couple of injuries. So Georgia, watch out. You almost lost last week to Missouri, which is a problem.
What I say in the chat, I mean, I knew Alabama was going to take number one this week, and they got unseated.
Well, Kentucky is hungry. They better watch out for Kentucky. They better not sleepwalk into that game.
Kentucky starting running back from last year, who was second in SEC in rushing, just came back last game, and he wasn't himself. So once they integrate him into that offense again, Kentucky's going to be interesting. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. They got back-to-back games against Mississippi State, and then they go to Kentucky. So they got a couple of tough games. Now we got to talk about my Bama.
Yeah, a little shaky till they got in that groove after the injury.
That injury is a problem. Bryce Young was just doing whatever he wanted to do. They should have been up 21-0 because he had a touchdown pass dropped early in the first quarter. And then the officiating was way one-sided. There was an obvious either defensive hold or pass interference, depending on when you can call him, because the guy grabbed him twice and held the receiver that ended up being a Bryce Young interception. But that shoulder injury, that reminded me of when Drew Brees messed up his shoulder. Kind of awkwardly sticking his arm out and then falling in a crazy angle there. They say it's just an AC joint sprain, which basically means the bone just jammed up against it, and it should be okay. But I just hope they don't rush this kid back. They play Texas A&M this week in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, boy.
So this is a get-back game for last year. They don't need Bryce Young to play to beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, that running game is strong. Bama's running game is sick.
It is.
Jalen Milroe, the 6'3", 230-pound quarterback, they say it's the fastest person on the team.
Yeah, you see his speed. You see on display. What was that? The third quarter or beginning of the fourth
when he broke that 77-yard run.
Alabama gonna be all right.
Yeah.
They're gonna be all right.
If it was me, I would let Jalen play this game, start, let Bryce rest up, because after that, I believe they have Mississippi State. They got some tough games coming up after that. So let Bryce rest this. Texas A&M has no offense. Their offense is putrid. And to have Jimbo Fisher, who's there, this is his fourth year there, and have an offense that looks like that, he should be ashamed of himself, especially making all the money he makes.
We shall see.
We shall see. Everybody else in the Big Ten, y'all know I'm not a Big Ten apologist, but the Big Ten looks decent. Ohio State's doing what they're supposed to do. They haven't played anybody recently. Your Michigan Wolverines, though, since I was skeptical about them changing the quarterback, but this young QB that they're starting gives them a different element because he got some wheels.
Yeah,
Maryland had him on the ropes, man. Maryland had him.
They did. And but you see that game against Iowa, they had up until like the fourth quarter, they had them skunked. So, and Iowa's not a slouch team. And I also would credit the running game. Corum's been playing lights out too.
And you know Corm's from the DMV, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get any looks locally because everybody said he was too short.
Yeah, I don't know why Maryland didn't give him a strong look.
So,
As I like what Loxley doing, man. That game against Michigan was a good one, but Maryland is rolling, man.
Michigan State, I saw that. That game against
Michigan State. They put it on Michigan State. Yeah, Mike Loxley, like we said last week, is doing a heck of a job. He's starting to get his players in the program. They believe in Tua's younger brother. Another year of eligibility. If he's smart, he'll stay at Maryland one more year and play and continue to develop himself and also to continue to build that program. So, yeah, Maryland's on the come up. A team that's supposed to be one of the big boy teams, I'm not so sure. What y'all think about Clemson? Because
I'm not sold on DJ as their quarterback.
I'm not.
I think they vulnerable most weeks. I think they're going to get upset very soon.
Yeah, they struggled at NC State. You know Dabo ain't above switching quarterbacks mid-season, especially if he can put in one of the hopes, because that's who's behind DJ. Another hope.
The hope.
I'll just leave it at that.
It's amazing. They in the top. Are they still in the top 5? That's unbelievable.
It's Clemson, man.
The ACC is getting a lot of pub early on. They had a bunch of teams ranked, and we'll see how that falls out during the year. But I'm not sure about Clemson. Now, USC, if USC can get through the Pac-12 this year and make it to the college football playoffs, USC is going to be a problem because the talent that they have on offense is crazy.
It's like 04 all over again. Yeah, Vince and Reggie. Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Caleb Williams is putting up crazy numbers out there, but no, you don't see it because most of the time it's on the West Coast. But they doing big things. So I would not want to meet USC. They put the beating on Arizona State, which is real. And I don't know if y'all heard some of the stories about Arizona State. Rumor is that people inside the athletic program were calling teams that Arizona State was getting ready to play and giving them information
to sabotage
to sabotage Herm Edwards because they wanted to
get him
out of there. I saw that too. That's
dirty
stuff, man.
That's dirty. That's real dirty.
Because they're trying to blame Herm on everything now. Herm may have had a lack of oversight because he brought in a bunch of ex-NFL players and he was running it like a CEO. And there was a lot of people that was like, well, why are we paying him? He's not doing anything. And then all the scandals of the illegal recruiting and stuff came out and they had a bunch of people had to leave. So it's just a shame. A man with that good reputation gets sullied like that.
Man, going back to ESPN, Herm, they miss you.
True story.
Shame.
It's always one of us.
I'd like to point out two other teams that may have made considerable comebacks. Utah, who crushed Oregon State 42-16, and Oregon, who beat down Stanford. I mean, both of these teams, Utah came to Florida, and Florida in the SEC is maybe 8th best team in the SEC, 9th to 10th. So Utah coming there and lose and was like, I don't know about the Pac-12, but they bounced back and doing their thing. And I think that Utah-USC game is going to be, whoever wins that's probably going to win the Pac-12. And then what Oregon has bounced back after what Georgia did to them in the first game after being embarrassed. I mean, so.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, I want to just give an honorable mention to Auburn. I want to show them some love because that game they played against LSU this past, that was a good one. The quarterback, I forget his name, number 9. Like, I like this kid. I like what he showed out there. So I'm gonna keep an eye on them.
I hear you. I'm not sure if LSU or Auburn are any good this year, but that was an interesting game.
Yeah, I think I slept on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, good old, as I said earlier, good old Jimbo. He's struggling. Texas A&M got crushed by Mississippi State 42-24.
Mississippi State.
University of Oklahoma.
Jimbo.
Remember when they lost their coach and it's like, that's okay, good riddance. We got this defensive guru that's going to come in, this Oklahoma boy. He comes back to his alma mater. We didn't need him. Who cares about Lincoln Riley? We here. We Oklahoma.
About that.
55? You give up 55?
Yeah, TCU.
And then you woke up.
Yeah, TCU put it on them. Matter of fact, they was clowning on Twitter, talk about who's going to get to 62 first, TCU or Aaron Judge.
Man.
Wow.
That's a good one right
terrible.
there. 10 points for that one. 10 points.
That's funny.
So, yeah, be careful what you ask for. Sometimes you think you want to be mad. Somebody makes a move for the betterment of them or their family. You just got to be happy for them and let them go on. Don't be trying to bash people because it comes back and bites you in the behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Talk trash after you get a victory.
Yeah.
Not before.
All right, so there's some week 6 games that I think are pretty notable that you should be on the lookout for. As I mentioned earlier, Texas A&M comes to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. I think this has a good possibility of being an old-fashioned beatdown to put everybody in their place.
I hope so, because
I wanted to be a nail biter, man.
Texas A&M always.
Nah, I want them to smoke Texas A&M. They deserve that. Because Jimbo and his little class, they was talking mad trash.
I agree with you most times, but Texas A&M doesn't have a quarterback. They started the young guy, benched him for Brad Johnson's son. Then they just benched Brad Johnson's son and going back to the young guy. So they got problems, and they can't run the ball real well. So, but like you say, you never know. These guys may get up and make it a game. But I
think their disdain for one another will make for great.
What Big Reg just said with the quarterbacks, one of them hitting the portal for next year.
If not both, Jimbo might be hitting the portal to replace him.
Right.
Yeah. Another interesting SEC matchup. Number 8 Tennessee takes on LSU. That's an early game, so it's not as bad. Playing LSU at night is a different beast. Playing them early, they should be there. All right. The game that College Game Day, ESPN's College Game Day is going to, against 2 undefeated teams. Undefeated number 17 TCU against undefeated Kansas. And who would have ever thought you would have put Kansas and undefeated in college football together?
And basketball, maybe, but not college football.
So they're doing some great things there. Utah plays UCLA. Old Chip Kelly out there in UCLA quietly letting USC make all this noise. UCLA hasn't lost a game either. So they still got to meet each other. So that's going to be interesting. That's at 3:30 on Fox. Florida State, the Seminoles are back. They're looking good. They only got 1 loss. They play NC State. And then, of course,
that's a sleeper right there, the NC State team. The
game I'm looking forward to Saturday night, BYU at Notre Dame.
Thank you, Reg. Thank you. Yes, me too.
This gives Notre Dame a chance to the season's gone, but this gives Notre Dame a chance to really continue to build and get ready for that draft classes coming in, recruiting classes coming in next year. So I'm pulling for my man Marcus. I want him to do well. So that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
Same.
So what's the prediction on the score?
Don't rule out they might catch USC slipping.
What's the
and
prediction
get them
on the
at
score?
the end of the year?
What's the prediction on the score? Don't all speak at one time now.
28-23 Notre Dame.
I say 35-24 Notre Dame.
High scoring games. Wow. Big Reg, what you think?
I can't call it. My heart is pulling for Notre Dame, and I told Professor Jay I am far from a Notre Dame fan, but once they had that coach, I was like, I got to pull for them, especially the way this season started, because you know how they are out there. They be like, maybe we ain't picked the right guy. Let's get him up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the NFL. And fellas, there was a bunch of little stuff we could have talked about before we talked about the game. But what happened Thursday night? I don't know about y'all, but it hit a special note for me. For y'all who have been constant followers, y'all know I was missing for a couple of weeks in August and came back September and had the neck brace on. I had a neurological situation that I had to get taken care of. So I'm hypersensitive to what happened with Tua. And I didn't have a concussion. But we said it Tuesday following the game that they played against Buffalo, that was absolutely a concussion. The man hit his head, and the first thing he did was put his hands on his head. When you hurt something or get instant pain, your natural reaction is to grab whatever's hurt or reach for it. So if it's your back, you're going to reach towards your back. And I know Professor Jay's had some back issues. I've had some back issues. Trust me, when your back flare up, your hands go right to your back. And if it's a thing where you can't stand, you go drop to your knees. Ain't no getting up real quick and staggering. So that was a concussion. Don't tell me no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. Clearly neurological, because he stumbled, couldn't hold his balance. He grabbed his head. I mean, that it's just egregious that in this day and age, after all the research, all the movies, all the court cases, all the money the NFL lost, that they still can't get this right.
And what's really egregious is the way the concussion protocol was written. Because there's specific verbiage in no-go. If these things happen, player cannot return. If you get knocked out, you cannot return. If a version of light, something like that, you cannot return. But with lost gross motor skills, which is what Tua displayed when he was stumbling around, that was still left up to the discretion of the team doctor.
Right.
It's like an RG3 thing.
What are we doing? You've got these supposed unaffiliated neurological people in the stadiums, one upstairs spotting and people on the sidelines. Why isn't their word overriding the team? Because the team always going to say, well, how you feeling? Was it your head? Is your head hurting? No, it's my back. Okay, it's his back.
See, and that's two fouls right there. One, I heard that if they performed the eye test like they were supposed to, there's no way they would allow Tua to come back in the game. Number two, how you gonna ask a player how they feeling and should they go back in the game? What are they conditioned to say? They conditioned to say, "I'm good, coach. Let me go back in." So that's two fouls right there, where he should have been on the sideline, even above everything else that people watching it on TV saw it. So how in the world do the doctors evaluate him and put him back in the game?
What's even more disturbing to me is just this theme now of malpractice. I mean, just, from stemming everywhere in the NFL, with the Tyrod Taylor thing, with the doctor puncturing his lung and having him sit out for a year, to the Tua thing with the concussion, even earlier with RG3 and Dr. Andrews clearing him when Lord knows he shouldn't have been out on that field. I think we need to, we know, but it's like we need to do a better job. The NFL rather needs to do a better job of being more like holding these doctors more accountable and not just kind of deferring and having them go all willy-nilly as far as their diagnosis, because people's lives is what you're dealing with. It's
makes sense. Any given Sunday, you saw the movie. That the way the doctors behaved in that movie, that's real life, man. That's how they operate.
I know. And they don't look. They're not concerned. They're concerned about right here and there, not long term.
We all know owners want their star players on the field, so if they allow them to play, they're gonna play.
Yeah. What's Kansas can
Trent
hear.
Williams.
So,
Yeah.
So I want to applaud the athletes who were on TV and on radio explaining why you can't allow an athlete to have any part in that decision when it comes to not only concussion, neck, and spine injury. Because even if it was a back injury, and let's say he C5, C6 situation where because of the whiplash, he had a disc pushing on his spinal cord, that could lead to paralysis, permanent paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I know. So anything that's dealing with the neck, spine, stop. Because what he's dealing with now, when he stops playing and not exercise and not keeping his body up, it's going to be totally different. So it was just horrible. And of course, the NFL Players Association fired the neurologist who performed the test. It's like, nah, you got to go.
I would be shocked if we see him again this year.
Yeah, he might be.
Well, he Friday, he called his coach and talked to his coach and was like, yeah, coach, I hope to be back by X game.
Man, if he don't sit you behind.
And the coach said, stop. We're not even having this conversation.
I'll be shocked if he plays again this season.
Well.
And of course, now they're saying all of his scans came back good and all that. No, there's no scan for what's going on neurologically in the brain yet that's accurate. Yeah. So you don't know. So I hope they don't allow him to come back anytime soon. He should be off for at least a month after sustaining those two, especially the way that happened Thursday. And as soon as it happened, my wife was like, what's going on with him? I was like, he's knocked out cold. How you know he's unconscious? I said, I've seen boxers do that with their hands just
lock up. Yep, when they lock up.
Yeah, you're right, Jerome. That disc situation and all that, it's a whole lot of stuff that could be a problem. So yeah, they got to look out for that.
Prayers up for Tua, man.
And I hope he doesn't let his athletic ambition get in the way of his future health, and that his family will be around to slow him down because he wants to play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because he's still trying to prove himself that he's going to be the quarterback of the future, and that they don't need to draft a quarterback. So the NFL and the NFLPA announced that they're going to be revising the concussion protocol. And one thing that they're definitely going to do is remove that caveat that the team physician can make the final determination when you lose your gross motor skills. That's going to be one of those no-goes. You do one of these on it, you're gone. We don't care what it is. So, all right, let's get into these games. What y'all think about them Eagles? I gotta start with the best record in the league, possibly the best team in the league.
Lord, fly Eagles, fly, man. I say that with such reluctancy because it's just like, they're playing well, man. They got all the weapons that Jalen Hurts needed in order to succeed, and you see it happening, that translating on the field. They got good coaching. They got a good receiver, good running game. And I like Jalen Hurts' moxie. I mean, we going to be the thermometer. We going to set the tone. We ain't going to be the thermostat.
Yeah. I said it a couple of years ago.
No, it's the other way.
Other way. We ain't going to be the thermometer. We going to be the thermostat. We going to set
I said a few years ago that Jalen Hurts going to Oklahoma and playing under Lincoln Riley, right? Was the best thing for him because he got to develop as a passer. He got to be able to read the field, do some things under pressure. And that to me is what made him a pro. And then once he came into the pros and he got his shot, see, I was happy that he was under Doug Peterson when he got drafted because we know what he does for quarterbacks. And then after he left, I was kind of shaky about what his future might be. But he has developed in a way where I think we have to start paying attention to the conversation around him being in the running for MVP. The man is resilient. He gets down. He doesn't get too hard on himself. They were down 14-0 in a blink of an eye. I think he threw a pick six. And they stormed all the way back to win that game against a coach who knew him better than anybody on the other side for the Jaguars. So I think with him, he's more than just a running back playing quarterback. You now see that his decision making and his off season, people don't give him credit for the type of off season that he had. He put in the work, and you see it coming out on the field. And people need to give him his credit, because if he was the other type, they would have been singing his praises about how he developed over the summer and how he's looking now.
Let's not forget about Philly's defense, man. They putting in work. Goodness gracious. They shutting teams down.
Washington really put them on the map with them 9 sacks. But yeah, they Brandon Graham and them other boys, they doing it.
What's scary is they have a first-round pick and a second-round pick that came off of University of Georgia's national championship team that's barely getting any time yet.
Yeah. And their corners are nice.
That defense is going to get better.
Yeah, their corners are nice too.
And we've seen the emergence of Devontae Smith too. Like he's been beasting out.
Yeah, like you said, they gave him weapons. That's what he needed. They gave him weapons, and here's the result of it.
That's what happens when you have a smart player, and people don't realize how smart Jalen is. Jalen's a coach's kid. He's been around football. His father is one of the top high school football coaches in the state of Texas. He's been around high-level football all his life. He knows how to break down tape. He knew what he needed to do to work. So, yeah, shout out to them Eagles. They're doing their things. Yeah. What's going on with the Ravens, especially their defense?
Ooh.
I ain't never seen the Ravens defense at the bottom of the league.
I'm telling you.
They gave up 2 17-point leads to good teams. Miami's a good team, especially when Tua was playing. And the Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL. But you can't give up 2 17-point leads when you got Lamar Jackson in there. And it seems like to me, in both of those games, in the second half, they jumped out to these early leads. And then they stop playing football.
Yeah, they take their foot off the
gas.
Is real soft. Yeah. Their defense is soft. They're not the Ravens of the Ray Lewis's era.
But yeah, J3. But what's happening with the offense? They it's like they're throttling down. Like, we got this game. Like, this is the NFL. You got to play for 60 minutes. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then Harbaugh's decision making at the end of a game just suddenly went down the toilet. I'm like.
Yeah, that decision not to kick the field goal to go ahead, and then him doubling down in the postcard. Right. Well, the analytics say, "Yo, get the lead.
Get the
you
point.
Didn't get the lead.
Yeah, get the point.
Get the points.
Make them have to score a touchdown to beat you.
Right.
Or worst case scenario, you're going to overtime, and you still got Lamar, who might break a 60-yard run for a touchdown." So,
but hey, Big Rage, that ain't nothing worse than Ron Rivera just cussing people out at his press conference.
Yeah, I gotta see that.
I mean, he losing it, man.
He know his job. He know he can reach
job's in jeopardy. He should have never. But we'll get to that game because I got a lot to say about that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get to that, let's go get to the other big game of the week: the Chiefs against the Bucks. The GOAT against the
that boy good.
Patrick.
That boy good. That boy good.
Payback is a beep.
Everybody said Kansas City offense going to take a step back because they lost Cheetah. Cheetah's a monster. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's a difference maker. But what that's forced Patrick to do is elevate his game as a passer. He picking people.
You still got me.
Yeah,
you still got me.
And look, and this is how you know people are just fans and they don't watch football. When Cheetah was hurt last year, the Chiefs kept rolling. They didn't miss a beat. I think they lost one game when he was hurt last year. So this notion that their offense gets stagnated because Cheetah not playing, man, get out of here.
And the thing is, the crazy thing is, he makes it look fun. Like the dude is like playing backyard football. Like that one touchdown pass where he's scrambling and then he turns
he did a 360. Looked like he was going to run this stop right at the 2-yard line. That's some crazy stuff.
That got me 7 points. I loved it.
See, that would make me want to fight. you ain't gonna embarrass me on national TV. I'm sorry.
but if you think about it, all the receivers are eating. Not one of them can't say that they not getting no love because they all
most in the league. Most in the league, 6 touchdowns.
I think everybody was down on Juju Smith-Schuster last year. Now look at him.
He's starting to find his way. But what's scary about Kansas City? Clyde Edwards-Helaire is getting healthy.
Yes.
But now he's got somebody pushing him. That rookie, Isaiah Pacheco.
Woo. 7th round.
Yeah.
He was averaging 6 yards a carry. So they're going to add the running game into the passing game. Oh, they're going to be a problem. Before I let you go off, since I just want to say, you got to shout out what the Cowboys are doing. I got to give them props, and everybody who knows me, who follows this, knows I'm not a Cowboy fan. But their defense is scary.
Yeah.
And they finally, maybe because they were forced to, figured out an offense that actually plays to their defensive strength. Ball control.
Run the ball. Use these 2 running backs and have our quarterback throw safe, basic passes. And we're going to dominate the time clock so our defense can rest. So when they on the field, they just attack it. When Dak's in there, they were playing a totally different offense.
True.
And having a lot of 3-and-outs. And then the defense would get tired in the second half.
Because they were trying to throw the ball downfield to CD Lamb every other play.
They have no damn running game that game. They were shutting Zeke and Tony Pollard down. What was the problem was they kept leaving CD Lamb wide open every time.
Yes, they don't have a secondary. We know that.
At all.
How you got linebackers checking wide receivers, man?
Because you have a horrible defensive coordinator.
He should be fired. He should be gone.
Always out of place. They always out of place.
Ain't no way that Cole Holcomb should be on CD Lamb. Nope.
I told you when they fired Sam Mills Jr. that he was the scapegoat for a bigger problem. You don't get the man any linebackers, or you gonna fire the linebackers coach. That ain't make sense. Sense. Never mind. Go ahead.
We know. And then you spend all this money on a trash quarterback. And I was rooting for Carson Wentz. But this when people
I tried to tell you. I told you. J3, I told you.
I had to learn the hard way. Why? Show you who they are. Believe them.
Oh my goodness.
He's trash.
Yep.
Man, get it all out this week.
Trash.
I can't understand how you had any faith in Carson Wentz. When the coach that he had the most success with in Philly brought him to Indy, and then they got rid of him after one season.
Yep.
That told you everything you needed to know.
Tried to tell you.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, yeah. Carson Wentz era is over.
Him and Baker
it needs to be over.
Yeah. Him and Baker gonna be the same place next year. Unemployed.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the mentality to be a backup. Did y'all hear what Baker said after the game about the fans booing him?
I don't care what the fans say. You know, it's all about me and my dude. You just got there.
That's how he always been, Johnny Manziel Jr.
Yep.
And back to Wentz. Like I've heard reports. There was reports about like the locker room, like flaring up, like after the game, like dudes were pissed at him after the game. Man, it's time that it's not even time to start Heineke. I think it's time to start Sam Howell. At least he
Nah,
scramble.
you save him. The line, you know, they just lost Cosme today, right? The line is in shambles. Do not put.
It's always in shambles.
But it's even worse. You do not put your rookie quarterback.
You play Heineke. That's what he's there for. Let Heineke play.
Yeah.
And you deal with whatever the season is, and let the chips fall where they may.
Everybody in the NFC East doing good besides the Commanders. You got the Giants freaking 3-1 now. Daniel Jones.
That's a mirage, though. That
ain't gonna last. The Giants ain't going nowhere, man. Come on, man.
But they are going in the right direction. But that is
going in the right direction.
They're going in the right direction.
Saquon back. He healthy.
Saquon is balling.
You don't think people in Washington would take a mirage right around
there? Right. Dude, let us be 3, 5, 6, 7, and 1. And then, we can tank for the rest of the game.
Wow. Really, Jay Will? Really?
Hey, like Rick James said, it's a hell of a drug.
We told y'all to get off of it. We told y'all.
This is trash.
I've been trying to get y'all off of that for years. Since you said
he ran every... I'm sorry.
Let it go, sis. Let it go, sis.
Go ahead, let it out, bro.
One last thing. How you gonna run the same play every darn drive? It was like a running play. You giving it to Gibson like 8 plays out the.
That's the coordinator.
Because they don't have no confidence in Winston's arm, bro.
Yeah, coordinator.
These short screen passes to McKissick. At least he was getting plus yards. Like they knew what you was running like before you even ran it. Oh, it's gonna be a run play.
You're gonna get a heart attack trying to talk about the Commanders, man. Let that go, man. Just let it go.
I'm done.
Just let it go.
Let's talk about the team that's supposed to be your future team. You said you was going to be a Steelers.
The Steelers.
Yeah, about that. They trash too. I'm sorry, Ed. They trash. Trubisky, I try to believe in him as well, but man.
The Trubisky era was short-lived and it's finally over. It probably should have never started, but they going with the rookie, Kenny Pickett. Coach made it official today. The Kenny Pickett era has started for Pittsburgh. And he's going to keep them in some games. Kenny Pickett's going to keep them in some games.
Yes.
But
I like Carolyn's. Look at Carolyn's comment. That's so accurate.
He'll get hurt and he'll be fed. Yeah, he'll get it. I hate to wish injury on somebody, but yeah.
But I do believe this is going to be Pittsburgh's first losing season, which is good because they need to revamp their team. And stop treading water. We good enough, just a piece here and there, we can get back in the mix. No, they need to go ahead and take these lumps, let Kenny Pickett go in there and do his thing. And then before next year, get a better draft pick, fix the line, and continue to build. But yeah, I think Kenny Pickett's got a chance to win 5 games. For the Steelers.
No,
maybe
Renee,
6.
Say it ain't so. No.
Yes, Mama Goodman. Yes, they do. They do.
Yo, what's your last one? We're going to get out of here, talk about the intriguing games, and get up out of here. How does the coach of the Arizona Cardinals have a job?
Oh, my goodness.
Because every game we start off terrible. Kyler, go try to figure out a way to win it and run around like a chicken with your head cut off and win the game for us.
Yes, Kyler Murray is his saving grace right now because ain't no way that Kingsbury should still have a job.
Kyler Murray, like, what the heck? That's why Kyler Murray was pissed off and like, y'all gonna pay me because this fool trying to get me killed.
Yeah, you want me to watch film? You need to watch film.
And you know we're going to collapse at the end of the year because that's what he does.
You got that right.
So this week, Thursday night, we got the Colts at the Broncos. That's going to be interesting because I hate to say it, Geno Smith is out playing Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, because
can we give it up for Geno Smith for a minute?
Because the offensive coordinator for the Broncos, they just not giving him good plays, man. He is not looking like the Russell Wilson that we expect him to be.
Yeah, that head coach looks like he's
over
drowning.
Yeah,
he's drowning.
Yeah, but the qualified black coaches can't get a shot.
I hear you. Then on Sunday,
put Eric Bieniemy as the head coach of the Denver Broncos and see what happens with Russell Wilson.
Every time you hear somebody talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, they talk about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Eric Bieniemy's name is never mentioned.
Right. See what I'm saying? Except when they arguing on the sidelines.
Right.
Then it's Eric Bieniemy's fault.
Well, at least with Tampa Bay, they was mentioning Todd Bowles. But yeah, I mean, Byron Leftwich gets left out too.
Yeah, he sure does.
And both of their head coaches have told people they call the plays. I interject what I think. They call the plays. They develop the game plan. It's not me. I add my tweaks to it.
And your boy TB12 was looking a little frustrated.
He looking old. He looking old, dude.
TB12 has got some serious problems going on. When you get ready, I read some stuff before we got online. They ain't getting back together. Supposedly, both of them have already hired divorce attorneys. When you get ready to try to divide up about $600-700 million, that'll get you nervous.
Yeah, but you know what? One thing I will say is I feel sorry for Brady because he throws some nice passes and them receivers are dropping the balls.
Yeah, unless it's his man Evans.
Evans, right? If it wasn't for Mike Evans, exactly.
Yeah, he catches everything. Yeah, I feel bad for him. Anybody that got to go through that and then try to go out and perform your job, I don't care what it is, man. That's tough.
I got more to say about that in my post take. So
okay. So this Sunday, I didn't know if y'all caught it. There was a game in London. So there's a second game this week, back-to-back weeks. The Giants play the Packers this Sunday. So if you want to wake up early and catch some football at 9:30 a.m., probably would be a blowout. Green Bay should easily handle the Giants.
I don't know. Green Bay's offense.
I was about to say, against a third stringer, you had to go down to the wire.
Stinks.
Against a third stringer.
I watched that game and I'm like, ugh.
If the rookie didn't drop the touchdown in the end zone, that game would have been over in regulation.
But that's the problem. They do that the whole game. He can't trust none of them.
But they're getting better. Also, Steelers at Bills. Kenny Pickett's first start. That should be interesting. You got the Chargers and the Browns.
Bills,
man, the Bills better demolish them like they ain't even on the damn field.
Sneaky game, Falcons at Bucks. And then what are the Cowboys going to do to the Rams offensive line? If San Francisco 49ers dominated them, oh my goodness, what are the Cowboys going to do to them?
What's up with
they
Bradford,
need to call Wentworth out of retirement or something.
Wentworth ain't coming.
OBJ, they need to get OBJ too.
No, it's their line, son.
Yeah, it ain't the receivers.
But one thing they will do, that goddamn wide receiver who killed me.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp
had what, 14 catches?
His cup running over.
Come on, man. When you throw the ball to somebody else, please.
His cup running over.
Stop it. Eagles at Cardinals is going to be a good game. I think the Eagles will play, get more physical. Bengals at Ravens. That's a game. Whoever loses that game is really behind the 8 ball in their division.
I want to say Baltimore, but I think the Bengals going to take them.
Oh yeah, Jackpot Joe. Oh yeah.
The Bengals are starting to get their groove back a little bit on offense because Joe Burrow's getting healthier.
Hate to say it, we getting closer to Lamar wearing a different uniform.
Dolphins.
I'd hate to see that because that means Tua either ain't playing football anymore or they gave up on him. And I think Tua can do what they need to be done in Miami. Miami doesn't need a quarterback that is going to do a lot of moving. Miami needs somebody to drop, stop, get it in the hands of those 4x100 runners they got out there. So,
well, Washington got a nice receiving core.
We ain't got no offense. They ain't got no offensive line though.
Daniel Snyder's still the owner,
and they're gonna have a new. They're gonna have a new coach. Lamar ain't going to somewhere ain't got a bona fide coach.
No. I was actually talking about Tua.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
that sounds about right.
He ain't
That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
All right, fellas. Well, that is the show for this week. Another good week. There's no big boxing or MMA fights this week, but there's some coming next week. We'll hit you about that next week. So it's time for our final post of the evening. Let's start it off with you, J3.
Just want to say everybody stay safe. We still going into a new season called fall. The temperature has changed, so buckle up.
Hear that. What you got for us, Sense?
This week's Bam of the Week goes to Antonio Brown. Like, dude, you just got weak. You just need some attention or something. Like, ain't nobody asked for your input on, and then you just pull a Bama move by posting a picture of you and Giselle. Like, come on, man. That's just, yeah. Like, get some business, bro. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
All right. What you got for us, Professor J?
Yeah, so of course it is October. It is Breast Cancer Month. So definitely wanted to shout out my mom, who's a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and shout out everybody out there who has survived or those who have succumbed to the disease. We remember you. We thank you. We love you for the fight that you all have put up. And certainly we continue to raise awareness. We continue to do the walks, raise the money, do all the things that we have to do, because we know that with each step, we get closer to a cure. So God bless you all, and to not just to the women, but to the men, because believe it or not, men do get breast cancer as well. Might be small percentages, but awareness is key across the board.
Amen.
Powerful message. I'm just going to add something real short because I don't want to take anything away from that. That's a powerful message. Folks, depending on your area, COVID is on the rise. Hospitals, extended care facilities have started limiting access to people coming in their facilities again. And they're also predicting that this is going to be one of the worst flu seasons that we've had in a long time. And it's going to be hard to tell the difference between if somebody's got the flu, somebody's got COVID. Please be safe. As you continue to get out there, more people out there, please take precautions, protect yourself and your family.
Jerome, hit me on my email. I definitely want to do some prayer with you on the side on that, but certainly.
Sorry to hear that, Jerome. Prayers go out to you and your family, my brother. On that sad note, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time and opportunity to share our positions on sports with you. Please tune in each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for our live show. We're in each and every Tuesday. It could be 2, 4, 6 of us, but we're going to come give you our thoughts and our positions on the hottest topics in sports for the week. If you can't make the live show, you can also download our show on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. Just put in Positions on Sports Talk Show. Whatever platform you use, please like and subscribe. Subscription's free. If you prefer the podcast platforms, the same. Positions on Sports Talk Show. Look us up. We are there. We'd love for you to follow us and give us your feedback. If you want to hit us up at Positions on Sports, is our Facebook page. Twitter's Positions on SPO1. We'd love to hear your thoughts about how we can improve the show. We are getting into the TikTok realm. We've dropped a couple of things. We'll be adding more and more content there. So we're just trying to get bigger and better, and would love to get some advice on how we can grow the show and make it better for you. As we said before, be safe. And for everybody who's lost a loved one, whether it's to cancer or just recently to some other tragedy, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your families. Please be strong, but also remember, allow yourself to grieve. Y'all be safe out there. We'll see you next week.
God bless you. All right.